everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be 3 looks with the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palette. We're still in winter, so even though I'm way behind, I'm counting it as okay. So in today's video, I'll be doing 3 looks with this palette, doing a first impression, just seeing what I think of the color story. I'm sure the formula is the great Cosmic Brushes formula. However, I'll just make sure and give you my thoughts on all of that. So if that sounds good to you, if you like eyeshadow videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, I'm gonna zoom you in closer and we're just gonna get started with the first look. All right, so I opted not to do any kind of swatches or anything like that with this palette since I am a little bit behind. This palette came out in November and it's now January, but it's still winter time. It's still seasonally appropriate. This is what the palette is looking like though. It is 20 shadows and it retails for $37. It has 12 mattes and 8 metallics, they're calling them. And then of those 8, 2 are multi-chromes and 1 is a duochrome. So this is a matte heavy palette, but not by much. It's almost a half and half split. So I was really excited for this color story. I'm not a super big blue fan. We're gonna push myself out of my comfort zone. But what I love about Cosmic Brushes and their formula is that sometimes simple is best. You don't have to go in with a ton of these shimmers. So that's why I'm fine with it being a little bit more matte heavy, because realistically, I haven't swatched this. I haven't done anything with this. I'm probably only going to use 1 shimmer at a time because I really want that shimmer to stand out and shine. So I'm thinking for the first look, I'm going to do 3 looks. And I know for the third look, I have a vision already for the third look. For the first look, I think maybe I'm gonna play with like this row, these greeny teals, and then maybe the second look do more of a blue look, and then the third look will be more purple. And then just if you're wondering if you can see the shifts, so Winter Solstice is one of the multi-chromes, and then Atmosphere, this one here, is the other multi-chrome. And I'm assuming that Wonderland, this white shade, I'm assuming that that's the duochrome, but the shift is very strong in these. They're all stunning. I'm definitely using Winter Solstice for the third look. That's the only look like I have a vision for. The rest of these we're gonna go just off the cuff. But let's just get started here. I do have my eyes primed with my Nars Soft Matte Concealer, and then I do have that set with just a face powder to kind of soften that up and not make it so sticky. So the first one, I think I'm gonna go into oh shit, I just stabbed it with my brush. Okay, moving on. The first one I'm gonna go into is Peaceful. And that's like a mid-tone, very greeny teal. And I'm gonna put that in the crease. And I am going to just start tapping first and seeing how much pigment there is. And kind of making sure I don't go overboard too fast. And I find with Cosmic Brushes, that's kind of like the best formula. I'm really just trying to define my crease here. And now I'm just gonna kind of sheer out that color. Now that I have that laid down, I'm going to take Crisp, which is more of like a mint green, and I'm going to blend out the edges with that shade with a fluffier brush, just to kind of start to get a little bit of a transition. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think of Cosmic Brushes. I think they're definitely one of the more hyped up indie brands at the moment. I love that they're based in the UK, so we're not only having indie brands that are in the US. It's nice to have some brands that are a little bit more accessible to the rest of the world. And I just think, I mean, for the price, they're definitely one of the more affordable indie brands. And I love their color stories. I find even for myself, who's not someone who, you know, really goes into color too much on a day-to-day basis, there's still color stories that work for me. I'm gonna go into Showers now, which is the deepest teal, and I'm gonna very lightly go into that and deepen up my outer corner. But I've really been liking them. The first palette that I actually purchased from them was the Delicious Delights, because I don't have that many pastel palettes, so it was new and different for me. And I had been hearing a lot about cosmic brushes, so I finally decided to give them a try. And then immediately after that, I ordered the Muse because I was interested in the Muse when it came out. I need to work faster while I talk. I was interested in the Muse when it came out, but I kind of told myself that I had color stories just like it, so I didn't need that palette. But once I realized how much I liked the formula, I went back and got the Muse. And then since then, it's been a hyper fixation. I've gotten the Gothic palette and now this one. So, and every palette I've been happy with. I didn't purchase the Serenity. That's not really like my kind of color story, but the rest of them are very just unique to my collection, and I find them very, very easy to use. Before I do the shimmer, I'm gonna do the lower lash line, and I'm just gonna repeat those shades. So Peaceful, Crisp, and Showers. I'm gonna start with Peaceful, I think. Try to get that as close as I can. Lightly connect shadows on the outer corner. Blend it out with Crisp. I'm gonna take some NYX glitter glue just so we can make sure these shimmers really pop. And if you're new to my channel, it's no secret, I like to apply my shimmers with my fingers. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take, I think, Reflection here, and I might use Frost kind of in the inner corner, I'm thinking. So this is so pretty. All right, let's lay this down. Leave just a little bit of that inner part open. Now taking Frost, I'm gonna put that on the inner corner and kind of as like an inner corner highlight as well, just a little bit. This is definitely a statement. I mean, this is no doubt about it. This is teal, and it even, I mean, I kind of feel like it leans a little bit on the blue side, less teal, but once I think we get the other blue on the other lid, it'll look more teal in comparison. I'm not sure, I think it's just me. I'm not sure if I'm loving the mattes. They kind of look a little muddy. I think my blending was a little bit off maybe, because I feel like it just looks like I put down one shade in a shimmer. The shimmer is beautiful, but it's probably just my skill set. Before I do liner or anything, I want to do look number 2. So like I said, we're going to play more with like these vibrant sky blues. And I think, you know, we're just going to kind of stick to the same method because that works for me. I'm going to use this, which is Fresh Air in the crease. I'm going to blend it out with Icicle, and then I'll use Clear Skies, which I put my brush in, for the outer corner, and we'll use Chill all over the lid. And then for the inner corner, I haven't decided yet. And I'm going in with the same brushes. I just used my switch to kind of clean them off. But first, just tapping the product, and let's see if I can get a more defined blend. Deepen up the outer corner, and this is very, very dark shade, so I want to start slow and build if I need to. I don't want this to get too smoky. It's definitely more of a cool tone blue than a teal, like comparing it to this side, but I don't know if I see really that much of a difference. I'm gonna do the lower lash line, going in with Fresh Air. Tiny bit of Clear Skies, and I try to keep that more, you can see, concentrated on the lower rather than going into the crease. It's fine that's not super blended on my lid because we're just gonna cover that up with a shimmer, and there's no point in wasting my time. And then going into Icicle to just kind of diffuse it, not make it so smoky on the lower lash line. Just laying down my NYX glitter glue. And I think I changed my mind about the shimmers because I want to try both multi-chromes. I'm gonna use Winter Solstice in the third look. So I think I'm going to use Atmosphere, kind of primarily on the lid, and then Chill, which was the shimmer I was originally gonna go in with, kind of on the inner portion, but mostly Atmosphere, because look at that multi-chrome. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on like 2/3. Wow. I don't know if you can see the shift, but it goes from like a blue to a purple. So it's like the perfect kind of transition. Then I'm gonna take Chill, and I'm gonna see if I can shear this out just so it's not super bright metallic cobalt blue. Just like that. So it kind of goes from blue to this multi-chrome. And then lastly, I'm gonna take Wonderland and pop that in the inner corner. Despite both of these being pretty dark, I am enjoying both looks, and they do look different. I mean, this look number 2 goes better with my sweater right now, but I'm not mad at it. For look number 2, I don't think I want to add any kind of liner. I think I want to use mascara and call it done. But for the first look, I want to take In the Moment, which is a matte black, and I want to just line my upper lash line. I think it kind of needs a little bit more definition. And a teeny tiny bit down here. Just to keep it cohesive. So I think that is it before mascara. I'm gonna clean up the corners, and I decided I'm gonna show you how I do that, just in case you need a tip. But I take this is a Morphe M164. I saw this years and years ago on someone's channel that they use this to clean up. So I use this, it's like nice and thin, and it has a straight edge. And I just take a translucent powder, or you can use a concealer, whatever you want. And I just kind of stamp it to get my guide. Just like that. Do it on the other side. And then I kind of just let that sit. And afterwards, I'll take a very small brush and just kind of buff it away. So essentially you're just baking a little bit and cleaning that up. A lot better. My vision's not great in the corners, so that's why a lot of the time I have to clean up the corners. But let me apply mascara and then I'm going to show you the finished first and second look. Here we are, look number 1. And then look number 2. Right now, I'm like a little 50-50 on them. I love this frost shade that's in the inner part of my lid. This really blew me away. I wasn't expecting to like it so much, but the multi-chrome on look number 2 is so much more beautiful on the eye than in the pan. So I'm so excited to play with this winter solstice. But, you know, I'm still happy with both looks. Very colorful outside of my everyday, but you know, it's time to wash this off and then finish up with look number 3. So when I first saw this palette, I instantly knew one of the looks that I wanted to do, which I opted for look number 3 because I'm going to attempt to use black liquid liner. And I really want to use the winter solstice shade. I've already said that, but I want to use Blanket like just as an all over matte and sheerly use this on top and then kind of go in with the liquid liner. It's going to be a test. That's why I saved it for look number 3 because I do not use liquid liner that often. I mean, I didn't even buy this Makeup by Mario one. I think I got this like gift with purchase and I've maybe used it once in the year that I've had it. So this is going to be an experiment, but I just like, I don't know. I instantly saw that look in my head when I saw this palette. So let's just get started. I didn't have too much staining when I took this off. Granted, it was only on for, 5 minutes or so. And then I did reapply my Nars Soft Matte Concealer and powdered it down. So I'm just deciding what kind of brush I want to use because I do want it to be very much a wash of color. I think I'm going to use this Singe EO3 because it's kind of like the fluffiest flimsy brush that I have. And I'm gonna like pack it on the lid, but then bring it up. You can't really see it too much. Maybe I should have used a white base, which I don't have. Need to get one. All right, it's building, so that's good. I'm just gonna keep tapping it on the lid and then blending it up until I get it as high as I want because I do have a lot of space from my brow to my mobile lid. And of course, taking a pencil brush, I'm gonna run that on the lower lash line. For winter solstice, wow, I'm not going to use my NYX glitter glue because I really want it to be as sheer as possible, if that's even possible. That's so pretty. I don't think that really shears out, but that's okay. We're gonna just go with it. Definitely think this was like the standout shade for everyone in the palette. And for good reason, because it is beautiful. I don't think I have any kind of multi-chrome in my collection like this. Not that I have hundreds and hundreds, but I think I have a fairly larger collection. It just has like this mint green with like a gold sparkle. It's not even a shift. It has like gold sparkle in the green. I like this a lot. This is all I wanted to do for the eyes, and then add the liquid liner. I'm gonna do my best. I make no promises. We'll see, because this is also a brush tip. I don't really know the difference because that's how unversed I am in liquid liner. But this, whatever brush tip this is, I smeared it on myself. I don't like it as much as the Kat Von D. And I also just have an awkward shape for liner. I am really pushing myself. I don't know how much of this I'll show on camera, but I try to keep my eyes as open as possible. And you can see my fold right there. I try to kind of just connect it to the fold, and I need to look very close. Just like that. So I kind of do it like that. And then I take it from the tip and just draw straight across till it connects. Keeping my eyes open the entire time. Now that you can see the shape of this, I think I'm just gonna fast forward through this, do the other eye, fill it in, and I'll be back to show you the final look. I'm glad I did that off camera because that took me about as long as it took me to do all 3 looks combined. It's not perfect, but we're learning. I mean, for doing liquid eyeliner probably less than 20 times in my entire life, I think that I'm improving. I've been trying to do it more before I take a shower and then just wash it off to get some practice in. So I don't hate it. The look came out exactly like I wanted it to. This is my favorite look so far. You'll have to let me know which one is your favorite look. If you have any tips on liquid liner, I would also love to know that. But that is me playing with the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland palette. I'm gonna scoot you back now, and I'm just gonna kind of quickly sum up my thoughts on this palette. All right, so I think that I used the majority of the shades in here. I think the only ones I didn't use were these like more blue toned purples here. I didn't use this one, but I used all of these. I used all of these. I used Icicle, I used Atmosphere, Blanket, and Wonderland. So I used a good majority of this palette. And you know, I do like this palette. I kind of, based on my first and second look, was hoping for more of this kind of vibe, like this more wintry, lighter vibe. And my looks came out pretty dark for the first and second look. And that's not a knock on this palette. Like, I just shouldn't be using these darker shades. I just need to skip them next time. But this is very winter themed. So my only hesitation on recommending this palette is that it is, at least for me, I'm going off of my personal thoughts and preferences, a seasonal palette. There are sometimes seasonal palettes that you can pull in all year round. For me, I'm not really foreseeing myself doing that with this palette. And that's like where my hesitation lies. If you love this color story, if this color story speaks to you, then of course it's worth the money, but I don't think I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this palette, despite it being, you know, affordable. Only using it 2 or 3 times a year just is not worth it. It is unique in my collection. I don't have a lot of palettes like this, but the reason that I don't is because I don't gravitate towards these tones. So I am happy that I picked it up. Cosmic Brushes has a great formula. I'm happy with the formula. Just taking factors into consideration like cost per use, I don't think it was worth it for me. This was definitely a palette that I could skip. However, like, this look is really putting it at the top for me. This is a fantastic formula. It's a fantastic color story. And I would recommend it if it's something that you think that you'll get your money's worth of. Just for me, this was maybe more of something like I didn't necessarily need, I just wanted. And thinking back to my other Cosmic Brushes palettes, I know for sure I'll get more use out of all of those. Even the Gothic palette, which is like basically a monochromatic purple palette, but I'll reach for those shades more than this one. So that's really my thoughts on this, but like, I have nothing bad to say about the palette. It's more just personal things. These two rows, like maybe I just need to push myself more to use, because this is like the top two rows is what I was more wanting from this palette. I think that maybe because I played with the bottom two rows, minus Winter Solstice, which is one of the most beautiful shades I've ever put on my eyes. I absolutely love this. That's, you know, I think I just need to play with those shades more. I could use these all year round. It's not that you can't use these all year round, but this is a palette I know that I'm only going to think about in the wintertime. So I foresee it getting lost in my collection, and that's like where I don't know if it was worth it for me. But you'll have to let me know down below, like, have you bought from Cosmic Brushes before? Have you bought this palette already? Have you tried it? Do you love it? I've seen some really pretty looks with this palette, and I love everyone's creativity. Like, even just the cover of this, the packaging is so beautiful. Like, this is what I was wanting, and it might just be user error. Like, of course, I'll come back and rank all the palettes that I've been trying recently after I try them out more. I think that it was just maybe me going in with like my tried and true method and deepening up with an outer corner, and I shouldn't have done that. I think I just need to avoid like these three shades, and I used all three of them. So that's what I'm going to try next. But I would love to know your thoughts. Which one's your favorite Cosmic Brushes? Have you not tried them? Are they on your list to try? They're a really up and coming indie brand. I was late to the train trying them. It wasn't until they were super hyped up and selling out every single collection that I kind of jumped on it. And I'm happy that I did, because it really is a worthwhile formula. The hype is actually true for this palette, which you can't always say. So that's where I'm going to leave you all. Make sure to let me know your favorite look down below. Any tips on liquid liner you might have. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to just keep practicing, but I don't think that this is too bad. I think what going on a tangent again, but I really just struggle like knowing the angle to make my wing, because I am kind of making it a little bit straight, but I feel like I've tried it more angled and it looks funky on me. I don't really love how it looks. This is the best method that I've found for myself so far. But this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.